my name is Praveen from West 22A. Today I like to present my part what is a security and safety system. Security can be defined as the state of being protected from crime, violence or other harms. It includes the measures taken to protect people from the death, vandalism, terrorism and other threats. Security is often achieved through the implementation of the security procedure and protocols. These procedures are designed to deter criminals and reduce the likelihood of a crime or act of violence occurring. Besides that, the safety system concept requires a risk management strategy based on hazard detection, analysis and implementation of corrective control using a system-based approach. The difference from traditional safety measures which depend on controlling incident circumstances and cost based on epidemiology study or research of particular prior incident when faced with issue with probabilistic risk assessment. The idea of safety system is important in showing the suitability of technologies. The basic premise is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. A safety-based approach to safety necessitates the use of scientific, technical and managerial abilities to danger detection, hazard analysis and hazard elimination, hazard control or management throughout the cycle of a system, program, project or activity and products.
Importance of the security and safety system in any organizations. These days, security is essential for any commercial enterprise since no one wants to risk losing their valuables. There is nothing more upsetting than learning that robbers have broken into your property and taken some of your most priceless possessions. It completely halts an expansion of your company and depletes your resource trying to make up the losses. While that the importance of workplace safety standard cannot be overstated because human loss is both unquantifiable and unbearable. As a result such of losses of injuries, family may suffer significant losses. The importance of security and safety in any organizations are it's protect your cash flow. As a successfully company's driving force into a workplace, it's everything within a functioning well. The company should be prosper. However, if a company is struggling, if when they are hitting the sales targets, there could be an internal problem that has not been resolved. In a business, dishonest employee may frequently feel the pressure to steal money or other assets, especially if there aren't any CCTV cameras in strategic locations like the cash register, warehouse, and stock room. Inside the company's premise, a security system need to be established, not stop this problem from occurring. This safeguards your cash flows and other important assets while discouraging employees from engaging in unintentional behavior. Then it's encourage a secure workplace. A firm should be accountable for the security for its workers as a business owner. Installing security system help to create a secure workplace by making sure that workers are always being watched. Local authority can react quickly in the event of an unpleasant situation and deal within a problem. Additionally, it makes your staff members feel better while they are working late or irregular hours. They will be able to concentrate on the work and at hand without worrying about their health and safety since they will feel secure knowing that your organization is equipped with a cutting-edge security system. The next importance in security is allow to focus on another important matter. A firm cannot afford to constantly monitor security since it will negatively impact other areas of its operations, and corporation may focus in resource on critical issues like sustaining earnings, increasing sales, and achieving corporate objectives by using security solutions like a CASA security. While they concentrate on growing your company even more, the security system will take care of the business safety. No matter how big or small the business, it must have a security system. Security systems have to improve in their ability to provide the degree of security that business require to safeguard their assets from thieves and guarantee of safety of both owner and employees. Besides that, the importance of safety in an organization is aware about the surrounding. There are many employees who does not bother about their surrounding hazard, but it's important to observe your co-employees' working circumstance. Once you get know about the particular hazard that occur at your workplace, then it will be help you in reducing the risk and allow you to take precautionary steps. Then utilized tools probably instead of cutting corners, take a proper safeguard while utilized equipment or any other items. Cutting corners is one of the main causes of workplace loss. Using scaffolding as a ladder or one tool instead of another for a particular work in larger safety risk. Therefore, it's always advised to use the proper instrument and lower the risk of a workplace injuries. Lastly, keep emergency exits that are simple to reach because you all need them quickly in case of an emergency. Additionally, it is important to avoid turning off any device that might prevent you from responding in an emergency. Thank you.
Very good morning, sir. My name is Yashni Sivakumar from batch 22A. Today I am going to talk about the introduction of the Kim River pollution. In March 2019, Pasikuram became national headlines and captured the country attention after thousands of people, most of them school children, were reported to have experienced severe breathing difficulties, fainting, vomiting, dizziness, and muscular cramp in the hand and leg after smelling an acid burning odor presumably from toxic gases. Many of the victims were sent to hospital for emergency medical treatment, and a few of them were admitted into a hospital for the further observation and treatment. Soon after the tragedy, an illegal chemical waste was dumping into a river. Sungai Kim, which was immediately assumed by the authorities to be source of the toxic gases and vapor, affected the school children. A major cleanup of the river was ordered by JES in order to stop a further emission of the toxic gases from the chemical waste. However, just a few months later, in June 2019, most school children were reported to experience similar symptoms in a larger number of the schools in the area. This time, no chemical dumping was detected at Kim River because it had been cleaned after the first incident. The second incident cast some doubt on whether the source of toxic gases was the Kim River chemical waste or whether there was another source that had evaded detection. Although the number of the cases was not high as a Kim River incident, it was enough to cause alarm among the Malaysian public when it became national headline news. It precipitated call by the many quarters of the government to end the tragedy in Pasikuram by finding the prosecution of culprit and prevent it from the happening again.
Good morning to my lecturer and my friends. My name is Ashwita Andakanan, ID number DEM082013A. A water pollution event known as the 2019 Kim River toxic pollution took place on March 7, 2019 and it was brought on by the unlawful dumping of chemical waste into the Kim River in Pasir Gudang, Johor, Malaysia. Toxic gases from the unlawful dumping hospitalized 2,775 individuals and affected 6,000 others. 110 schools along the river were consequently shuttered because the majority of the casualties were kids. After being exposed the various chemicals unlawfully thrown into the Kim River in Pasir Gudang, South Malaysia, hundreds of Malaysians were killed in March 2019. Following the end, local officials conducted an investigation and they determined that between 20 and 40 tons of oil waste were illegally dumped into portion of the Sungai Kim River. The petrochemical or marine engineering factories in Johor may have produced a garbage more than 5,000 individuals, including hundreds of school children and children, have become ill as the result of the poisoning. The Education Ministry mandated the permanent closure of 111 schools in Pasir Gudang as a result of this contamination. The main way that people have been exposed is through inhaling the harmful fumes that are released by the chemical waste. Methane, toluene, xylene, acetylene, and the D-limonene are among the many compounds discovered. They can cause us acute poisoning with short-term effect as well as chronic effect with long-term effect that are yet unknown. Many families have relocated due to pollution and uncertainty over the potential health repercussions. The poisonous trash will be removed, said the Malaysian government. The expenses for the activities will be about Malaysia 2 million. Costs associated with the current and potential health impacts on nearby neighbors are excluded. Authorities in the area said they are looking into the legislation to see if they can make criminals pay for the action, but they are aware that offenders may also file for bankruptcy. Thank you.
Good morning to my lecturer. My name is Sri Rashmi Murugia. My ID number is DEM08200004. Today I am going to present about the lesson from Kim Kim River pollution. The recent chemical pollution disaster in Sungai Kim Kim, Pasir Gudang, Johor gives a clear picture that the level of community awareness at various levels is still at a very low and worrying level. The attitude of making the river a dumping ground for various pollution waste clearly shows how poor the mentality of some of our society is without thinking about the results of their shallow attitude towards the river ecosystem, which is the lifeblood of the local community. As a result of the toxic waste that occurs, we can see the impact not only the environment but worse also affect the level of public health, involving approximately 5,848 people, including children and adults, who had to seek treatment throughout the duration of the pollution disaster. In addition, because of this irresponsible attitude, the state government had to allocate a large number emergency cost of Rm 6.4 million for the purpose of cleaning the Kim Kim River. Incidents of chemical pollution on this large scale should not happen indiscriminately. This is considering that our country has environment-related bodies in each state that should be active monitors in controlling environmental crimes to be curbed as much as possible, and the quality of the environment is always at the best level. Although this incident is so saddening to all Malaysians, at the very least this catastrophic incident that happened in a wake-up call to all parties involved to act more seriously and effectively in the future so that the same incident does not happen again. The sequence of the Sungai Kim Kim disaster has also led to the announcement by the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change to emit the Environmental Quality Act 1974. The announcement of the amendment of this act should be welcomed by all parties, with the hope that the new act that will enacted later can become a powerful weapon to defend the fate of the environment from being crushed by the threat of destruction. However, the more enactment of a new act is not a guarantee that these incidents will not recur if not followed up the robust enforcement aspects. The environmental bodies involved need to further strengthen the enforcement aspects under their respective jurisdictions to prevent this incident from happening again. The Environment Department, for example, needs to prepare with sufficient manpower to ensure that more frequent periodic monitoring can be done. This is not only to prevent the same tragedy from happening again, but also to ensure that other environmental crimes can also be curbed. In addition, the enforcement officers involved must also be ensured to be able to act more efficiently and quickly on reports related to environmental crimes, receive as well as carrying out follow-up inspections so that appropriate immediate actions can be taken. This is important to ensure that an environmental crime that occurs does not drag on until it causes harm to the community. Meanwhile, at the public level, they need to be given exposure to dare to act and make a report to the authorities if they have any suspicious changes in the environment that occur around them. Concern from the public is also important is ensuring that accurate information related to environmental crimes can be channeled promptly to the authorities from follow up the action. Thank you.
Sultan Ibrahim Ismail of Johor called for a swift action against those responsible for the pollution that put lives in danger and thanked the medical staff for their arduous work treating the patients in hospital. The Sultan expressed his belief that the incident demonstrated the need for a government hospital to be built in Pasir Gudang and pledged of a total RM 1 million, roughly $250,000 USD, to assist rescue organizations and authorities in assembling necessary means on equipment to resolve the situation. On March 14, Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad and Deputy Prime Minister Wan Azizah Wan Ismail paid a visit to pollution victims at hospital in Johor Bahru. They declared that the situation was under control, meaning that residents did not need to be evacuated, and the Environmental Quality Act 1964 needed to be reviewed in light of the serious pollution. The federal government has authorized RM 8 million in funding for river sanitization project and has direct numbers of organizations including the police, military and hazmat teams to assist the issues in the impact area. They clarified that the state of Johor has not submitted a request for a state of emergency. Osman Sapian, the Menteri Besar of Johor, believes that since the state government has granted an emergency budget of RM 6.4 million for cleaning up the impacted river, there is no need to declare a state of emergency in the area. Yeo Bin Yi, Malaysia's Environment Minister, emphasized that an inquiry will be conducted to identify those responsible and that RM 6.0 million will primarily be spent to clean up the 1.5 kilometer stretch of impacted river. Subsequent cleanup is anticipated to cost more than RM 10 million. The state government also denied accusations that its authorized responded to the situation slowly. The public had also been advised by the State Health Department not to spread false information, including the one that was still floating around that claimed pollution has caused death. The Institute for Medical Research and Johor Health Department personnel who make up Malaysia's medical team were assembled on June 1 to examine a total of RM 6,000 pollution sufferers. The Land Minister of Water, Land and Natural Resources from Malaysia's Xavier.
Hi, I'm Devan here from Batch 22A. Jayakumar Arunanandam advised all the state government to take strong action against river pollution because long drought may be brought on by climate change in the future. To combat water contamination, the minister also created a water resources bill following reports of further illegal garbage. Dumping site discovered in Pasir Gudang. Neighbouring authorities in Singapore are still keeping an eye on the situation. Numerous Singaporean authorities have been performing routine checks, and the minister emphasized that they were treating the situation seriously because what happened in Malaysia may have a huge impact on Singapore. Not only that, the task force recommends JKKP and JAS should take steps immediately to determine whether the chemical factories adhere to the current regulation under EQA 1974 and OSHA 1994. While that, JAS should immediately investigate all the chemical factories for intentional releases of toxic gases and spills of liquid hazardous chemicals that could affect the environment and the public. Then they should audit the hazardous chemical waste disposal records of the same chemical factories to determine whether their hazardous chemical waste are disposed of properly according Environmental Quality Regulation 2005 under EQA 1974. Meanwhile, JKKP should audit the CHRA of the same chemical factories to ascertain the existence of the chemical not reported in the CIMS and prosecute chemical factories that are found to breach class regulation 2013 under OSHA 1994. Thank you.
The conclusion of the Kim Kim River pollution, the national headline of the toxic gas poisoning incident affecting thousands of the innocent school children in Pasir Gudang, not once but twice back to back in March and June of the 2019, shocked the Malaysian public. Call from many quarters demand immediate action by the government to find and close down the source of the gases, to treat the affected victim, to catch and charge the culprit, and to stop recurrence of the tragedy in the future. The Academy of Science Malaysia Task Force Sungai Kim Kim and Pasir Gudang incident was formed into support of the Minister of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change to investigate the source of the toxic gases, to recommend to step the prevent recurrence in the future. Thank you.